Hey, it's Mr. Johns. Welcome to this first episode of creating a house in SketchUp. We are going to start off with a website called theplancollection.com. It's one I use often because it offers great a great selection of homes and of all styles, of all sizes, and we can use their floor plans for our purposes and the photos that they have. um, if you click on advanced search, you can search by all kinds of things. If you know the style you like, you can select that. There's some styles in here that I'm not familiar with, so it's fun to just see what those look like. And there's everything from small cottages all the way up to big mega mansions on this website. And what we're looking for is a house larger than 2,500 square feet, uh, only one floor, no basement. That's going to be easiest for us. If you want the challenge of stairs and a second story and a basement, um, maybe that's possible, something you want to try. But I would strongly suggest we keep it to a single floor. And so I'm going to not change any of these search um, selections here except for foundation. I'm going to change it to slab. Um, and crawl space, so slab is a flat concrete, a big slab of concrete. They build the house right on top of it. Pilings are round cardboard tubes. They fill with concrete and they hold up the wood foundation, the floor of your house. And a crawl space is a crawl space. It's um, usually just 2 or 3 feet, maybe under your house, where they can put pipes and things like that. But definitely not living space. And so that should limit our search to that. I'm not going to change anything about the kitchen or the master suite. I do like porches and patios, but I don't really have a preference. I'm just going to keep that on all. And then let's just click view search results. And so this is sorted by trending, whatever the most popular searches are. It's interesting that the most popular house plan is one of their very smallest ones, 624 square feet, one story, one bedroom, one bath. Basically, a mother in law house or a little house you would build behind your house that you could rent out or a family member could live in it. Or because house prices are so crazy, maybe people really are looking for a cheaper house to live in. But a one bedroom, one bath, that's very, very small. So we want to enter over here on the left side minimum square footage. We want at least 2,500 square feet. If you don't enter a max, it's going to include mansions all the way up to 20,000 square feet. I think I don't mind seeing those, although I'm not going to design one. So I'll just make sure I put in the minimum of 25. And then the bedrooms, bathrooms, I'll leave alone, but I only want a one-story house. And I really don't want a garage. Not important for this project. So there are your things you want to type in: 2,500 square feet, one story, no garage, view search results. So we end up with 35 house plan results. Keep in mind that those search um, options that we selected don't always follow through, because I noticed when I look, sometimes I definitely get some houses that are 2 stories, even though I said show me only one story. Like this log house in the middle, this is a big vaulted living room that is called a one-story house, but over here I see two balconies, and so I don't think you could call that a one-story house. So same thing maybe with these other log houses. So just and this one too. This one has a basement down below. There's a whole nother area down there. This one has a garage, even though I said no garage. This one also has a garage, even though I said no garage. So you still have to be picky with what you um, eventually decide. So I'm going to very carefully select a house that doesn't have an upstairs or a basement. And also looking at the square footage in the left corner of each house, 2,500 is the minimum. So if you get close to over 3,000, 4,000, that's a very large house. Knowing that in California and other places, large might be 10,000 or 20,000. Those are definitely mansions. But for us here, 2,500 is still the average. All over the country, it's the average. So just pick something that looks interesting. This one looks, it's just a black and white drawing. But let me take a look at it. It's kind of an interesting shape. I want to make sure there's no basement, and there's not. So, I mean, that is the house. Square footage is 2,620, so that's just over the minimum. So it's nothing crazy. And the design is really nothing crazy, though it's interesting. I like the great room in the middle is pretty cool. So we have a master suite on one side, separate from the two bedrooms. So you got the adults on one side, and then this big, great room with a fireplace, kitchen, pantry, and then other side of the house, you've got two bedrooms, a studio or office or game room, and a bathroom, and a laundry room. So then this right here, when you come in the covered porch, there's an entry, and looks like there's a coat closet, and then you come in, there's an extra door. That's kind of cool. So you come in and shut the door. You can sit down on the bench and take your muddy shoes off, hang up your clothes, put your boots on a rack in the closet here, and open this door. And that helps this house stay warm because you don't only have one front door. So I like it. I'm going to go with that. So what you want to do is you want to save the photo. So save image as and call it home or house. I'm going to call it house front or home front. I already have another one I was thinking about doing. So I'm going to call this home front. And then we want to save the floor plan. That's the most important thing. Save image as home floor plan. Fantastic. So now this is actually a pretty cool house. It didn't look so amazing from the front, but I think it could be something pretty interesting. And so over in SketchUp, you're going to start a new file. And if you want to use a file with you as the character, make sure that what I did is I went to Open, Trimble Connect, and then open their cloud storage folder, and then make sure that my original I don't mess with. So I click on the three dots and I duplicate it. And it's going to make another SketchUp file just like that one. And it's usually going to just add, if it's a duplicate, it just adds a number to it. So I've done that a couple times. I've got my original plus Mr. John's 1, Mr. John's 2, Mr. John's 3. So I make sure that I don't mess with my original. Okay, so I'm going to close that. I really don't need it. So now what we're going to do is import that floor plan. So File, Import from my device, because we saved it to your device, to my device, and then from my device again. So find it, home floor plan, open it as an image, because it's a picture, it's an image. Click on the origin, click, and then drag. Now we want to use, I was going to say tie, we want to use your character, your figure, as kind of a guide. I always take this as a challenge. How close can I get to the actual size? So if I am 5'7", and I'm looking at this floor plan, how wide would the doors be? And I think, and look at the rooms. Like if I'm standing in one of those bedrooms, and those bedrooms are pretty small. Now that I look at them, 12 by 12, they're on the smallish side, but that is probably close. And then click. So you click to place it. Okay. Now, the final thing we're going to do is scale it to the correct size. And this might be a little tricky for me because it's not a normal sized house. You can see overall dimensions. Luckily, it tells me this stuff right here. 80 feet, 8 inches wide, I assume, by 70 feet, which is probably deep because it's got this interesting shape. So it's fairly deep, but it looks wider than it is deep, I'm guessing. Um, but we can't guess. We need to know. And sadly, I just realized I chose a floor plan that does not tell me. It doesn't tell me which is width, and which is depth. So width is side to side, depth is front to back. If I were to grab a ruler, which I might just do on my if I've got one handy, I do. I'm gonna grab a ruler. I'm actually gonna physically measure my screen and just see, make sure I'm looking straight down. And I'm going to measure, and you can't see me doing this, but I'm going to measure the width of the house, and it's the full width. So it's left all the way to the outside of this master bedroom. So it's going to be 11 and a half inches on my screen. And now I'm going to measure front to back. So that'll be the front of the master suite all the way to the pointed part of that great room, and it's 10. So I was right. It's definitely wider than it is deep, and so now I know 80 feet 8 inches is the width. Now, how do we scale it? And that's going to be the important thing, because everything we do after this, it relies on us getting this step correct. So, and it's not that hard, really. Um, he says. So I'm going to draw a couple lines that are going to help me. I'm going to draw a line from that, make sure it's green. So that's the outside left corner of the house. And now I'm going to go red. Actually, I'm going to stop, hit escape. I'm going to draw another line from that and make sure it's green right there. So now I have a line down here that I can use. All I have to do is measure. I can actually get rid of, keeping things clean, get rid of those lines. All I have to do is measure. That's actually not what I'm going to do. I am going to use that line, but I think I'm going to do another line next to it. So I don't know if this is necessary. I'm going to start here, click, drag red, and let go, and type in, that's exactly what I wanted to do, and type in 80 feet, 8 inches. Exactly like that. No gap, no dash, no comma, just 80 feet, 8 inches, enter. So I end up with a line that should be 80 feet and 8 inches. I'm going to measure it. Please do that. Take a minute to do a dimension line. It's 80 feet, 8 inches. And if yours is in millimeters or something else, you can go back over to model information and change the length units to architectural. I also turned on my display precision to be all the way to 1/32 of an inch. That just means very, very precise. And I turned off length snapping. So now I don't need this first line or that little line. So that's how I do it. And what I can see here is my floor plan. I was off by a lot. I was off by maybe 10 feet, at least 10 feet. So it's okay. So what I'm going to do is, and keep in mind, the edge of the house is not the white on my floor plan. Now, you have a choice here. You can build this house with me, and my videos will be this house, step by step. Or, obviously, choose any other floor plan that's single story, 2,500 square feet or more. And yeah, that's it. No basement, no basement. So these videos will cover general skills like importing a floor plan and scaling it. So it doesn't matter what floor plan you have, it will apply. And then when I do the walls, my walls will be different, but the skill is the same. So you will watch some of mine and then apply it to yours, if that makes sense. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is select the floor plan picture, and I'm going to use the scale tool, or press S. That's the shortcut to scale. And I'm going to drag this. I know I need to be bigger, so I'm going to drag it until my line, which is right here, lines up. And it's a little hard to tell. I might need to draw that line again. Maybe I should have kept those lines, but no, that I would have had to have moved them. I'm going to draw this line again, escape, and then draw this line again, green, escape, and see how close I am. This one I'm right on, like to the inch, I think. And then this one, I'm actually off a little bit here too. I think I'm really close. And we're okay, within a couple inches, not feet. This one bothers me a little bit, so I think I'm going to scale it up because that's probably a foot. I'm going to scale that up just a, is it up or down? Up. So I'm going to go up just a little bit more. Now keep in mind when you scale it, it moves it on both sides. So you have to look again. That one really didn't change as much as I thought. This one, oh, I have to draw another line because it moved. So it'll be from that corner to there. And so now my picture is a little bit too big. So I'm right in between. And maybe that length snapping was the issue, but I turned the length snapping off. Let me try it one more time. Scale. See if I can just bring this down just without snapping. Let's try that. So it's going to take you just a little bit of playing with this. I don't want to delete my line because that is the 80. It is exactly 80 feet 8 inches. Over here, it's great that that's not moving at all. Sometimes it moves on both sides. And I'm going to draw another line straight down from that corner. Yeah, I'm back. I'm basically in between. So how far off am I? Well, I can measure and find out. Oh, 3 inches. So, so it was within inches. So if you're within inches, call it good. So now what do I want to do with that? I'm okay deleting all those lines because I'm not going to touch the floor plan again. Make sure I don't have any lines. Okay, and I don't need the measurement either. So that is scaled to the correct size within 3 inches. And if we were really building the house, that's not good enough. But for this project, 3 inches off on a big house like this is perfectly fine. So that is how you find, import, and scale a floor plan for a house that we are going to design. So next up, episode 2, and we'll do some walls. Come back and join me then. For now, though, Mr. Johns is out.